Today we're going to start by showing you a video instructional cleaning for a Manitowoc ice maker. I like to start with a couple of cookie sheets underneath inside the bin to catch any debris or cleaning material that might fall during the cleaning. We'll then go ahead and start to open the machine up. This unit's got 2 screws. Take this cover off. We've turned the machine to the off position, and we're going to start to disassemble the machine. This front cover, we have to lift it up and out, and that's going to slide off. And we'll start by disassembling all the pieces from the machine so we can clean them. This is our bridge control. And we have 4 thumb screws across the top to take the distribution tube out. This one's a little tight still. The cover can come off. I like to set that back to the side, give you a little bit more room. And I've got a stubborn screw, so I've got to get a pliers. The distribution tube is now going to pull away. A diverter inside. We've got to take a couple more screws off to get the ice deflector off. It's a little heavier, okay? That's your ice deflector. Next piece we're going to take out is our flapper. We have to bow this a little bit. With the screwdriver, I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure here. Just to put some distance in that pin so I can get that flapper out. What I want to do first is drop the water trough. The trick here is usually to cross your arms if your arms are long enough. And we've got to pull in on these corners. And the whole trough is going to drop down. Now let's try this flapper again. Gives us a little bit more room without the trough in there. So these are the items, and that's a good thing to notice. This is why we take the machine apart, because these items are not going to get clean at this point unless we pull these pieces out. So what we're doing is we're gathering these pieces, we'll be taking them to a sink and washing them just with some warm soapy water. An important feature that we need to clean is the water level probe that's located up underneath the trough. We want to grab a hold of the probe and pull down on it. It's going to snap out of place, and then it has a plug, which time we can unplug it, and we're going to take the water level probe over and clean that also in our sink with some warm soapy water. Okay, at this point we have all of our pieces off of the machine. If there were any stubborn deposits or anything to clean on here at this time, we could mix up some solution with a soft bristled brush and wipe any of this down. We have 2 chemicals that we use. One is a delimer and the other is a sanitizer. We use the delimer to get rid of calcium deposits. We use sanitizing solution to get rid of any mold or any black algae that we might see inside of the machines. So at this time, we should probably go over to a sink and wash the components that we've pulled out of the ice maker. Okay, we're at the 3 compartment sink, and what we want to do now is wash up the items that we've pulled out of the ice maker. So with a soft bristled brush or a soft cloth, we're just using a mild soap detergent. when we're washing the water level probe, we want to make sure that we get up inside. And then with a rinse, we'll be done, and we'll start to take the pieces back over to the ice maker and start to reinstall them. We're just going to rinse with some cool, clean water. Okay, we're back at the ice maker. We've washed the pieces in the sink with some warm soapy water, and we're going to start to reassemble. I'm going to plug my water level probe back in, push the wires up into the hole until it snaps into place. Give a little tug down on it. It should now be in place. Next item we want to put on is our flapper. And what we have are pins on each side that we're putting into holes. So I'm going to line that one up. Line that one up. You have to actually bow the piece a little bit, and then we're putting it back in. Last item we're going to put in here will be the water trough. This item goes in this position. When the water trough goes in, it's going to come back and sit on two ledges on the back of the machine, and then we're going to snap on each side in the front. At that point, the trough is now snapped into place. I'll put my water distribution tube back into place next. When everything is lined up correctly, everything should just slide together. We've got our 4 thumb screws to put back in. Just finger tight. With all the screws thumb tight, we'll snap our bridge control in. Got that back in place. Next item will be our water diverter, splash guard. Couple notches that we need to line up to slide it back in. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. At this point, we're ready to mix up some cleaning solution and start to put it into the machine. I'm going to take one more cover off of the top. It's going to allow us to have a little bit more access to the top of the evaporator. Take this metal cover off. We can see right down into the evaporator, and it will allow us to pour our cleaning chemicals right in. So at this point, I'm going to use some Manitowoc Ice Machine cleaner. Very critical that we use the correct ice machine cleaner. The machine will be damaged if we do not. We're now ready to start to put the ice machine cleaner in. At the Bar Louie's, we're using an 1,800 pound machine. This unit calls for 9 ounces of ice machine cleaner. I'm going to come over to my control pad, hit the clean cycle. At this point, it's telling me that it's purging water. We have to wait for about 2 minutes before we can start to add the cleaner. On the cleaner, it is marked in ounces, so we can do an accurate measurement right from the bottle. The clean button is located in the upper right corner of the control panel. Its symbol looks like a hand with a rag. Our display has now told us that we are starting to fill with water. And as soon as we see the water start to cascade over the evaporator, we're going to add 9 ounces of our chemical. So we can get ready for that. The machine goes through a clean time cycle. It's important to be with the machine when you start it up If you were to come back 15 minutes from now, you would already be into your second clean cycle. The water is starting to cascade over. We're going to start to introduce it into the machine. The reason for taking the top cover off is it allows me to pour the chemical right into the machine. Slowly start to pour it in. Again, we're measuring for 9 ounces. Okay. We have 9 ounces of solution in the machine. While it's running, I like to take a soft bristled brush and wipe the machine down and take the cleaner and touch all the outside areas that the running water is not allowed to touch. At this time, we have the cleaning solution running in the machine. For safety precaution, it's a good idea to have some glasses on in case any of it were to splash into your eyes. With my soft bristled brush, I'm going to grab some of the cleaning solution, touch all the areas that the running water is not allowed to touch. We're trying to remove calcium at this time. Any white deposits that you see, brush them down. The clean cycle is being timed out. At this point, it's telling us we have 36 minutes left. The original cycle starts at 41 minutes. And at this point, we're going to allow the solution to continue to run. The machine on its own is going to purge the cleaning solution, bring in fresh water, and it's going to do that numerous cycles until we're done and the machine is clean. At that point, we're going to go ahead and sanitize the machine following the cleaning. So right now, we could start to mix up a solution of sanitizer or get our sanitizer chemical ready. Okay, we allowed the cleaning solution to finish out on the timer. We then turn the unit off and back on. We're going to go back into the clean mode. At this point, we want to sanitize the unit. I have a pre-measured amount of 6 ounces of Manitowoc sanitizer, and we're going to go through the same procedure. I have to wait for the machine to empty of water and start to refill, and then I'll reintroduce the sanitizing solution the same way as the cleaner was. Very important, never mix the cleaning solution with the sanitizer. It will give off a poisonous gas. So we'll always want to make sure we keep the two chemicals separate and always make sure that you get the cleaner out of the machine before introducing the sanitizer. The water has started to cascade over the evaporator. I am now going to introduce my sanitizing solution. Again, we have 6 ounces of Manitowoc sanitizer. Again, with my brush, I want to now take the chemical again, make sure I'm touching all the sides of the units. I want to kill all germs. With our bridge control, we can make sure that it's got all algae and is all clean. And at this time, we can put our ice deflector back in while we're waiting for the sanitizer to run. Usually with a clean cloth, I will like to try to wipe anything down that's on the inside of the machine. Ice deflector goes back in. 4 screws back in. Thank you. we'll let the sanitizer finish out. We've finished the sanitizing process, and another important feature I want to show you is the air filter on the back of the machine. On the back side of the unit, we have a filter guard. As you can see, this unit is definitely ready to be cleaned. We'll take this unit over to the 3-compartment sink and get her washed up. We have our filter over at our sink, and we have some soapy water mixed up. If given some time, I would suggest to allow this to soak. We're going to see if we can get some of this dirt off of here. If you have a large enough dishwasher, it's a great way to clean your filter if you can get it inside of there. And once this drip dries, we'll put it back into the machine. We've finished with the sanitizing. We put the air filter back on the back side of the machine, and we're now going to start the machine back into the ice making mode. On the control panel, we're then going to restart the ice maker using the ice making button, your on-off button in the upper left corner. So right now we're reading that we're making ice. It's important to get rid of the first batch of ice that comes off the machine after our cleaning and sanitizing to make sure that we've got clean ice coming into the bin. So at this point, we still have our trays sitting inside the bin, and we're going to use those to catch this next batch of ice. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes. All right. On the inside of the front cover, there's a lot of good information. It's going to show us all the amounts that we need for our chemicals, for cleaning, for soaking, for sanitizing, and for sanitizing the bin. Once a year, we suggest that the bin be sanitized, at which time you're going to mix up the solution per instructions, and you're going to take all the ice out of the bin with the bucket of solution and a sanitized rag. You're going to go around and make surface contact with all the interior ice deflector, ice bin, making sure that we're cleaning the entire machine. And I'll go ahead and put my cover on while I wait for the unit to drop its first batch of ice. Okay. The machine has dropped its batch of ice. We've got a good thickness on the ice. With the trays that I've left in the machine, I'm now going to pull out the batch that dropped, and I'm just going to discard this into a sink. And I've got one more. And there we go. We've now completed our cleaning and sanitizing on the Manitowoc Ice Maker. Thank you.